Now, moving further afield, Russia and the United States have exchanged barbs in the Security Council over who was principally responsible for the demise of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty after Washington's withdrawal earlier this month. Russia and China called the council session under the agenda item Threat to International Peace and Security over slated concerns that such moves would lead to a new arms race with implications for regional and global security.
The testing of this conventionally configured cruise missile by the United States earlier this week has set off alarm bells. The first such test since their withdrawal from the INF treaty, which would have deemed it illegal.
До описанной мной ситуации, возможно, осталось не так много времени.
On the whole, do you realize that because of the US's geopolitical ambitions, we are all one step from an arms race that cannot be controlled or regulated in any way? We are very concerned by the prospect of that. But our American colleagues, it seems, are not. In many ways, if you believe President Donald Trump, America is ready for an arms race because allegedly it is possible for it to overcome any of its potential enemies in material and technical sense.
But the United States, with strong backing from NATO and European countries, rejected Russia's assertions, accusing Moscow of violating the INF for years while it was still in force, saying it had already fielded such missiles in Europe, while arguing that China was threatening US allies with similar weapons in its region of the world.
Russian nuclear strategy and doctrine.
Washington then accused China, that was not party to the INF, and Russia of developing and fielding new nuclear and missile capabilities over the last decade, when arms reduction was the global mantra.
U.S. flight tests to develop a ground-launched conventional capability are neither provocative nor destabilizing. They're a prudent response to ensuring the United States has the capabilities to defend our interests in the post-INF treaty world that Russia created, and are the culmination of treaty-compliant U.S. research and development efforts dating back to December 2017. These efforts were never a secret, and again, they were not prohibited by the treaty.
China rejected U.S. blame, arguing its missile deployments were defensive in nature, but urged the United States and Russia to maintain dialogue.
The U.S. withdrawal from the INF Treaty is another negative act of pursuing unilateralism and evading international obligations by the United States. Its true intention is to make the treaty no longer binding on itself and seek unilateral absolute military advantage. China has always pursued a national defense policy that is defensive in nature.
Madam President, South
Africa warned that the unraveling of the treaty could lead to catastrophe.
It is indeed deeply troubling that the long-established arms control instruments, such as the Internuclear Force Treaty INF, has unraveled, placing not only the regions of Europe but the whole world at the risk of nuclear war and catastrophe. We also wish to use this timely opportunity to urge both the USA and Russia to resume discussions on the New START treaty before the treaty expires in 2021.
The UN expressed hope that the INF's demise would not be a catalyst for renewed and unconstrained competition in missile development, acquisition and proliferation. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.